Hi guys, I'm David and this is Jeanette. Together we are Low Range 4x4 Adventures. For the last few years we have been doing some epic trips to amazing locations across Australia. Subscribe and like our videos and hit the notification bell to join us on our adventures. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Hi everyone, it's Natalia and James here. We are David and Jeanette's kid-in-law, and today we're going to be reviewing the Rescue Swag. It's a product that Mum and Dad have been using, and it's a partnership that they've got with Rescue Swag at the moment. And James and I are both registered paramedics, so we just thought that we would give everyone our personal opinion of the workplace setup in particular. And review it for you guys and let you know what we think.
We'll go through some of the features later on, but I think one of the biggest things is that it can be used as a splint, which is pretty cool and unique. So apart from being compact, it uses a splint and also to carry water. So super innovative design. They've obviously put a lot of thought into it. So we'll open it up and go through it. You can do the honors.
Oh, okay, thanks. Actually while we're here, just in this little front compartment, you guys can see there's just some instructions for how to use, and there's also some emergency items like a torch and a whistle, which are just in this easy to access compartment here. Especially when you're traveling remotely, those sorts of things are really handy to have, and being in a bright yellow bag is going to be easy for you to find. If we open that one there. Cool. So opening this one here, we'll turn it around this way for you guys, I think. You can see that inside the workplace model, we've got 3 kits. And this was quite impressive. If you flip them over, they have a minor injuries kit, a major injuries kit, and then the snake bite burns, sprains, and strains as well. So already that separates things into, kind of compact, easy to identify mini kits that whether you need, if it's a severe bleed or if you've just got a splinter, you kind of know which ones you want to grab. And also on the inside here, you've got your standard first aid response and the steps that you should follow as well. So that's a great reminder that it's in bright red, easy for you to see, that you can use in addition to all of the equipment that's provided.
And again, like all of this equipment it corresponds to the app that you can download on your smartphone as well, and that will go through it all step by step. So really, really clever design. The way they've done this is really good. Yeah,
okay, so further to that, in the app it has a similar drop down menu, so you can pick whether it comes from this kit, the minor injuries, or the major injuries, and then that way it's easy for you to identify which part to follow, and that all of the bits and pieces you need will be in this kit. So just a little bit about the kits. We've had a bit of a look at them, and further to what we were saying before, this is just our personal opinion of what we think of this product. It doesn't represent our employer or anyone else, it's just what we think. One of the positives and like a really good thing to know is that all of the equipment that comes in these kits is Australian made. It comes from an Australian company in Armidale, I believe. So obviously locally sourced and supporting smaller business, which is great, and local business. So we'll start off with the minor injuries kit.
Yeah, sure.
And just have a little bit of a look. I've had a bit of a look through all of these, and I think the quality is really good as well. There looks to be a comprehensive and good start out for any first aid kit that you would need. If I was in the middle of nowhere and I had this as my go-to first aid kit, it's a very comprehensive bit of gear to have.
Get you out of trouble, so to speak.
Yeah, especially in those rural and remote locations. And I think for me personally, obviously being David and Jeanette's daughter, it was quite nerve-wracking for me knowing that they're going to be traveling around the world, being out of range, and it's nice to know that they have all of these things that they need if, there was an emergency situation and they weren't able to get help like we can so easily in the major city centres. A couple of good things about the minor injuries kits: it's got varying sizes of bandages and dressings. You've got some gloves in there, so one of the things that you'll note is that D for danger. So if there's a lot of exposed bodily fluids, popping those gloves on is a really good idea just to protect yourself as well. So that's handy that they've thought of that. And there's also some solutions in here, like there's an eye wash and wound irrigation. So particularly being rural, if you've got something like an injury, a cut or something like that that's quite dirty, it's really important to wash that out before dressing it. When you undo this kit, everything's in this nice clip seal bag, and there's enough room for you to add other bits and pieces that you think that you might need
And I
as
think
well.
that, just on that, talking to the quality of the swag, rescue swag, the zips are nice and sturdy. They're not going to just blow out on you, certainly not easily. So I think it is safe to add quite a bit more to these packs. Like, it is true in what they're saying that you can add extra stuff to them safely.
Yeah, and you can see there's it's not jam-packed in there. It's easy to pop all of this away and close it up, which it's nothing more annoying than when you can't get the tent back in the bag. So that's a really good feature that they've got. Also, what they've got on here is a description, and I would highly recommend before you go traveling, hopefully you guys can see that, we can do a close-up, would highly recommend just going through, pulling everything out, making sure that you've got all the things that you want, and potentially even on the back of this writing extra bits and pieces that you in your particular situation might need. And just another little tidbit that I wanted to point out that a lot of people might not know is that when you have medical equipment and first aid supplies, a lot of them have a manufacturer date. We'll do a zoom in of that for you, and an expiry. So it's good to know the difference, and it's also really good when you're going through and checking your first aid to note the expiry and just make sure that the things that you're taking away with you, they will still work, but that they're in the best condition and best quality that they should be, because you never know when you're going to need it. And this is the kind of thing that might sit in your car or wherever for quite a while before you need to pull it out. So always just checking it before you go on any big trips or anything like that.
And that expiry date is indicated by the little hourglass icon.
Yeah, the hourglass, that's the expiry. But everything in here, like this is all sterile packaging, and they're individual, which is nice. You're not opening a pack of 5 and then you're only using a couple and having to throw the rest out, because as soon as you open these things, they're not sterile anymore.
So we'll move on to the major injuries pack. So we'll open this one up. And straight off the bat, something that really caught our attention was the emergency bandage. This one. Really, really, really good piece of kit. I would even go so far to say that it's the best piece of kit in this kit. It's so the benefit of it, it's not only like a band-aid and covering a wound, but it's also a little bit absorbent, so it'll help the blood that is there kind of seep out and then clot.
So it's for any severe bleeding.
Yeah.
So it's basically a bandage, but it also has a absorbent pad built into the bandage.
We looked on the website for Rescue Swag, and they actually have a edition for the major injuries little compartment, which is a tourniquet, some dermal product that helps promote clotting, I imagine, and then the emergency bandage. So would strongly recommend getting that, because the nature of these is that they're used by adventurers and the sorts that are sometimes remote, and that's like hemorrhage control in my opinion, is something that people could add a lot of value and potentially save someone's life.
Yeah, it buys you time in that rural and remote setting where help might be a bit further away. Yeah, controlling the hemorrhage is a really important step.
Yeah, so we will definitely make sure that David and Jeanette have that in their kit.
Yeah.
Super, super important.
But also on top of that, just as a little bit of a segue, although like this kit, this is designed so that you can use all of this stuff if you need to use the app, like it's all there. But I would highly recommend doing regular first aid courses and regular CPR refreshers and familiarizing yourself with the kit. When you get yours, take all the bits and pieces out, have a play, have a look at it, have a look at the app. As paramedics, that's what we do all the time. We practice the skills that we don't necessarily get to do, so that when we do need to do them in an emergency situation, we're comfortable and familiar with those things. And that familiarity can help to keep those stressful emergency situations calm as well. And obviously follow your doctor's ABC or whatever it might do in your relevant first aid course, and just check with them, and also your GP. Maybe you can even ask them how to apply those so that you know what you're doing as well.
Don't want to be that all the gear and no idea saying.
Yeah, so just educating yourself and making sure that you know how to use all of these things.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's pretty straightforward. Just do it safely. Be mindful that the person you're treating, the patient, is still a person. So don't just rush into some random and throw all this gear at them. Be mindful and respect them. And you can't go too wrong. So
yeah,
follow the directions, doctor's ABC, follow the app for using these different products. And when you call for an emergency, calling 000, for example, in Australia, our comms are really great. They do an amazing job. They do follow a script, so be mindful and be understanding of that. That's just the way it works. It's most efficient. And they will often coach you through the management of some emergencies as well. So that's another point of call, another tool in the toolbox, so to speak.
Yeah, they can provide you that extra kind of assistance. Cool. So yeah, great that you've got those separated, and that depending on the severity of the injury, you've got everything that you need, which is really good. And the last one is just a little bit of a mixed bag. So you've got your snake bite, burns, sprains, and strains module. As James mentioned before, you can use this as a
splint.
A splint, that's the word, as a splint, and they've got the instructions for that on the app as well. But one of my favorite bit of kits in here is the triangular bandage. I was really happy to see that that's there. It's a very underrated bit of equipment, but based on your first aid course and things that those trainers can show you, there's a lot of different ways that you can make someone more comfortable by turning that triangular bandage into a splint. In addition to that, there's some really great things in here, like a burn gel, and one of my favorite things that I've seen, they call it a burn sheet. So the benefit of that is if someone has experienced burns, by using this sterile sheet and placing it over the burn, you're going to limit the amount of stimuli to the nerve endings in superficial burns and reduce their pain, which, if they're waiting a long time for some help, that's going to be a really positive thing that you can do. What else was in this one? Oh, and then with the snake bandage, the compression bandage, definitely worth knowing how to use that one as well. This one is 4.5 meters, and I believe they do a 10-meter one as well. If it was us personally, we would definitely have the 10-meter in there too.
Just on that, the goal with snake bites is you want to minimize the lymphatic flow back to, that's how the venom transports back into your body or central circulation. So the goal of the compression bandage is to kind of stop that. So if 4.5 meters is fine for like an arm maybe, but a leg, you really want to be able to do the whole leg. You can never go too much with the compression bandage. Well, I shouldn't say that. You can, the tourniquet, but just follow the directions on the app. They'll give you a good guide. And again, like, not rocket science.
And again, the first aid course, like, it's essential to, when you do a first aid course, they'll show you all of these things depending on who you go through and how to do it. And having that muscle memory of having done it before will help you in those emergency situations.
Yeah.
But it was just one thing we noticed that it would be worth getting the 10-meter compression bandage as well.
Yeah, just in case it was like a leg, which is probably the most common place.
Yeah.
So you can do that whole leg, which would be cool. Just lastly, a note that I have is a potential chlorhexidine allergy. So be mindful before you go applying any chemicals or antiseptics to your patient. Just check the label for chlorhexidine and iodine and types like that, because patients can be allergic to them in some circumstances, and you'd hate for that to happen. So just ask the patient if they have any allergies.
Yeah, it's always a good idea, because it might not necessarily be a family member that you're helping. It could be someone else at a campsite or anywhere really that you need to. So it's always worth asking if they've got any allergies before you put any liquids, like anything like that on.
That's a really good point. The beauty of having a product like this is that you not only can help and look after your loved ones, but also others around you as well. Do your part and be able to do the right thing. All in all, really happy that David and Jeanette have teamed up with Rescue Swag for this product. I think it's a great product, really innovative design, and it has a lot of value to add to your adventure and also potentially other people around you.
Yeah, it's very comprehensive. It's a great place to start for first aid kits. You will find that. Talk to your GP, talk to your first aid provider, and find out what else you may need and what else you may want in this. Something else that I just wanted to mention is when you are traveling and if you take regular medications, it's important to make sure that you have sufficient medication to get you through. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for liking and subscribing to Mum and Dad's channel. It's really great for us to see the adventures that they're going on. And also, every time they get a like or a new subscriber, it encourages them to keep putting out content for you guys, which is great because we get to follow along the journey as well. Our daughter, she's almost 1. She gets to watch Nanny and Poppy on YouTube, which is really cool as well. So yeah, thanks so much everyone. Hope you enjoyed this review. Like and subscribe to Low Range 4x4 Adventures. And yeah, they will catch you in the next one.